How are you, folks? Dave Brown here with the New Populace. Thank you again for joining me. So we have some new news about the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline. The story now, according to the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the mainstream media, is that we, the CIA, knew about the plot by the Ukrainians to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline, and we warned them, guys, please don't do it. But because they don't listen to the United States, despite the fact that we give them hundreds of billions of dollars, military equipment, intelligence, everything, they decided to just blow us off and do it anyway. So that is now the news story. But remember, at the time, people immediately said, it is Russia, Russia, Russia. So I want to play a quick clip of four people. John Brennan, the former director of the CIA, Marco Rubio, who is the chair of the Senate Intel Committee, Chris Coons, a Democrat senator, prominent, and Rebecca Koffler, a Russia expert. Listen to what they said.
Do you think Russia is behind the sabotage of the pipelines?
Well, I think all the signs point to some type of sabotage. These pipelines are only in about 200 feet or so of water, and Russia does have an undersea capability that would easily lay explosive devices by those pipelines. And I do think it's a signal to Europe that Russia can reach beyond Ukraine's borders. So who knows what he might be planning next? But I think this is clearly an act of sabotage of some sort, and Russia is certainly the most likely suspect.
Absolutely. Talking about escalatory tactics, the stunning new leaks in the Nord Stream pipelines connecting Europe to Russia. Western intelligence officials say they were likely caused by underwater explosions. President Biden called it a deliberate attack of sabotage. Does the U.S. have evidence that Russia is responsible?
Well, I'm not going to comment on whatever intelligence products they've produced or had. I think logic and common sense will tell you that these things don't blow up on their own, especially in strategic and key points. Someone has to know where the vulnerabilities are, and someone has to have the capability to go down there and do it. So there's only a handful of countries that do. I doubt very seriously that the Chinese are involved in it, although I'm not a fan of the Chinese Communist Party. I wouldn't go as far as to accuse them of doing that. I think it's pretty clear. Someone did this, and the only people in that region who have both the motive and the capability to have done it are Russian or Russian forces.
Joining us now, Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware. He's a member of the Foreign Relations and Judiciary Committees. Senator, thanks for being with us this morning. Let's start there with the Nord Stream pipelines. The Secretary of State Blinken expressed some skepticism, though he didn't call it sabotage. He expressed some skepticism that it was an accident. What are you hearing about those leaks?
Well, Willie, the Secretary General of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, has called it sabotage. We don't have definitive intelligence information yet on what caused this subsea pipeline to rupture and to begin to leak methane up into the atmosphere. But it is likely that this is an act by Russia. I think that we've seen over and over Vladimir Putin use energy as a weapon against the West to try and undermine NATO's unity in the face of his brutal invasion of Ukraine.
Rebecca Koffler, we've been debating this, Rebecca, all day yesterday on the show. Look, you wrote the book on Putin's playbook. You say that the U.S. government is correct, that this was Putin. I'm a little bit doubtful just because our government has lied. They said that Hunter Biden's laptop was disinformation. The same player started the Russia hoax. So I'm always skeptical. But let's hear what you say.
Of course, I understand, Rachel, that U.S. government cannot be fully trusted these days 100%. But on this one, I actually have written an op-ed on the Fox News Digital website where I outline 5 top reasons why Russia is most likely behind this. I'm 99% certain of it.
So I play that because I want to reiterate just how corrupt and full of crap our government is. Now, John Brennan is the ex-CIA director, although, of course, he has this intel connection still. But Marco Rubio is the chair of the Senate Intel Committee. So he has access to information that no one else does. So if it's true if it's true, that we knew about this plot before it happened, someone like a Marco Rubio might have that information. But there he is, first mentioning, I'm not saying, I don't think it's the Chinese, although I don't like the Chinese government, communist government. But yeah, it's probably Russia. They have the motive and the means to do it. So our government is full of liars. And now they're saying, okay, it was the Ukrainians. And why are they saying this? Why are they blaming the Ukrainians now? Because in my opinion, it was the U.S. government, not the Ukrainians. Well, look at who they blamed. I put out a video 2 weeks ago saying, is General Zaluzhny, head of the Ukrainian armed forces, is he being set up as the fall guy? His weird disappearance from the NATO meeting, the videos released of him at a wedding, people speculate that he died, and then there was a release of a video of him supposedly back at work. Now, if you read the mainstream media, who do they blame in Ukraine for the attack? They blame Zaluzhny. They say he planned it, he did it, and guess who they say was unaware? So do not blame this guy. Mr. Zelensky, the president. So I think that's kind of telling. Ukraine did it, Zaluzhny did it, but Zelensky, he didn't know about it, so don't blame him. Are you buying this? I'm not. Again, I believe U.S. intelligence did it, not Ukraine. Now, I also have another theory, and this is one I don't really think is true, because I do think Zaluzhny is alive. I think this is politics. They want to blame him and get the blame off of Zelensky. But if for some reason he was actually dead, and that's why he has disappeared, and the video of him showing up was very short, say he was actually dead, it would be very convenient to blame this on a dead guy. So then you say, okay, well, Ukraine did it, Zaluzhny did it, but he's dead now, so I guess there's no one to punish. Let's all move on and forget it ever happened. That would be very, very convenient. So if he is dead, they blame him for that reason. If he's not dead, well, they're playing politics, and this is a rift between, I think, Zaluzhny and Zelensky. I think Zelensky, he is the puppet of the West. Zaluzhny has a little more integrity. He's not happy with the equipment given to him for the counteroffensive, which he has said before the counteroffensive happening right now that he was not happy with the amount of gear he was getting. As the commander of the armed forces, of course, he wants to protect his soldiers, and now they're doing this counteroffensive right now, and they're being slaughtered. So I think this is a political situation. Zaluzhny versus Zelensky in the West, and the U.S. intelligence playing games, first saying they didn't know, first blaming Russia, then it was Ukrainian saboteurs, and now, okay, it was Ukraine. We knew about it all along, but it was Zaluzhny's fault. Blame him. All games. And this, again, shows you just how full of crap our government is. Because at the end of the day, it was the CIA, not Ukraine, who did it. With one possibility, if you read Seymour Hersh's article, he talks about training people to do this operation. There is a chance that the CIA brought over Ukrainians, trained them to do this operation, and gave them the equipment. So if in the future they could say, we didn't do it, we physically, us Americans didn't do it, Ukrainians did it. Yes, we trained them. Yes, we gave them the equipment. Yes, we ran the operation as far as the intel on it. But we didn't physically do it. These are the games we play. I will say, too, that this story seems to have lost some momentum in the press. Unfortunately, Americans really don't care that much as far as I can see. Perhaps the Europeans care more. I don't know. But one of the strategies we always have is if you let enough time pass and it becomes something in the distant memory of people, there's less of a kickback or less of a pushback from the public when the truth does come out. So that's a game that the intel state plays. They just follow the information for a while, make sure Americans are distracted, and then they release things to the public. And by that time, the public doesn't really care that much. And that's on us, America, for not paying attention, not staying engaged, and letting them do this over and over and over again. It's unfortunate. Well, that's it for now. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.